Hey everyone, my name is Jante. This week I did my essay on how to prepare for an interview. So the first thing in my essay that I talked about was doing company research. I believe that the company research is the most important part of preparing yourself for an interview. You always want to go in prepared with knowing facts about the company. Is if it's like an example, the CEO or the different clients that you're going to be serving for that company. Why are the clients even like? What brings the clients to the company? How are they getting their money? Things like that. Also, you really want to read the reviews on employees or from the past and people that are still there. That gives a big insight on the company that you're applying for, because it can be a lot of negative things that you see, it can be a lot of positive, but it will get you in the mindset of knowing like, hey, is this job really for me? Because I see a lot of reviews saying that the culture is like this, or that the supervisors, or they run it in this way, and that could deter you. Or asking questions like, does this go on in this company? Does this happen? Just basing that off of what you have read online. So it's always good to see that, so you can ask them, to see if that's really what's going on with the reviews that they're giving. And if it's good, you could be like, well, hey, I know that the culture is like this, and I've did a little research and see, I like that. This is what attracted me to you guys, just by seeing that comment that someone left. That could be like a conversation starter. And most interviewers ask at the end of their interviews, what do you have any questions for me? So looking at the reviews that you might have seen when doing the company research, it will give you a little bit of conversation starters or questions that you might have for the interviewer. Also, it just gives you a little insight on like looking into their social media pages like Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, to see like picture outings and stuff, to see like what type of people are here. Are they diversity, inclusion? Most jobs nowadays, you want to be involved with the workplace, that you're going to be feeling comfortable, you can have an open mind, your thoughts are important to the next person. Doesn't matter what level you're going into the company as, you'll have an input. So when you're doing the company research, that will definitely tell you different things about the company. Also, it's good to do company research just so the day-to-day activities that you'll be doing, the job responsibilities. Most of us nowadays, we go into interviews and we're just letting them throw questions at us instead of and that we're not ready for. I know plenty of times I went to interviews without doing company research, and they ask like, oh, hey, well, why you want to work here? Or so do you know the role that you apply for? And sometimes it's like, yeah, based off the title, you think that's what you're applying for, but sometimes it's not just that. It's not just customer service. It includes a lot of more responsibilities. Just thinking like, hey, I'm going to be on the phone talking. Like, you could be doing emails, or you could be being a project manager for something. Just because the customer service is a job title, it expands more than just that. So I definitely believe that the company research will help. And it will give you like, it's impressive to come in there knowing things about the company, even seeing the competitors that the company has, seeing how you could be a good fit for that company. With looking at the company research, you could be like, well, hey, I bring this to the table, I can offer this to you guys, this is how I'll be a good asset. So that would definitely help you to prepare for that job interview. And the next topic, so that is something that you have to do very, very thorough. I always now, being older, I feel like I know that the company research is the first important thing before you even, like, as soon as you get that call about that they want to schedule for the interview, you go right and do that company research so that you're well prepared. So the second thing is proper attire. That is a big thing as well. So you have to know it goes back to the company research. So you have to know, what type of job is this? Is this something that is more laid back, or is this corporate? Because corporate, you want to make sure that you're polished from top to bottom. You want to make sure that you're going in there very appropriate. You don't want to have on too much jewelry. You don't want to have your hair looking all crazy. You just want to look very polished and professional. You want to have on appropriate length skirts if the ladies are wearing skirts. You want to make sure that your clothes are ironed. You want to lay your stuff out the night before, so that when you get up, you're not struggling, because all of those questions are going to be in your mind of, hey, you already know the nerves are there before you go do the interview. So having your attire already ready before, that'll just cut down on some of the nervousness, because hey, when you look good and you feel good, the interview process goes way better. But also, you don't want to be underdressed and you don't want to be overdressed. So say I'm going to Burger King. I wouldn't, that's something that you want to do business casual. If you want to do a button up and want to do a pair of jeans, that'll be appropriate. Or, a pair of like khakis and a polo shirt, that's appropriate. Now, if you're going in to work for Google or one of these big corporate companies, you want to go in there in the best suit you have. You want to go in there as a woman, you want to go in there in the best attire. Also, a nice length skirt that's going below the knees, a blazer, some nice shoes. You just want to look, you just have to base what the company is off of what you will be wearing. And I think that is the most important thing, because the first impression of you is the lasting impression. So if you look good and they see you and they know that you're serious and you can articulate what you're saying, you have the company research, 9 times out of 10 you're going to get that position just by doing the company research alone. But if you got the outfit to back it up, then hey, you're in there. So the last thing that I spoke about in my essay was anticipated questions. So usually when you go on Google, you could type, hey, what's some good interview questions that the interviewers ask? Now there's like a whole list of questions that when I looked up on Google that they ask, but you want to be very specific to the job that you're applying for. So if it's like, I'll keep referencing Google, but if it's for Google, then you want to look like, what questions does Google ask in their interview process? I feel like that is very important for you to look those things up, so that you won't go in there and be kind of blindsided with the questions, or you can already kind of rehearse how you will answer them to your to the best of your ability without being choked up and saying and all that type of things. So with the questions, you just like, oh, let's walk through your resume. So going telling your past job history. Most questions that they ask, I feel like the first one is, tell me a little bit about yourself. So when you're telling the interviewer, like, hey, when they ask you that question, you don't want to go too personal. You want to just kind of say, I'm from here, and it's, to me, when they ask you, tell me a little bit about yourself, it's kind of like why you want to work here, or the same as walk me through your resume, because they want to see how you're going to be a good fit for that position, not necessarily your personal life and how many dogs you have and kids and things like that. I mean, it's good to throw it out there to make the conversation a little bit more, genuine and personal, but you don't want to give too much personal information. Also, they're going to ask you why you want to work there. They're going to ask, what are your weaknesses? What are your strengths? What do you bring to this position? Why do you think we should hire you? So those questions are the questions that I put in my essay. Most of those questions are definitely anticipated questions that most jobs, no matter what company, are going to ask you. So you just want to know how to answer questions and give examples of situations, and answer the question to your best ability. So yeah, so in my sources that I use in my essay was men and women's dress codes for formal and casual job interviews. That was used on the proper attire section. The next section was how to research company how to research a company for a job interview. So that was for the company's research paragraph. And then my last one was your ultimate guide to answering the most common questions, and that was used on the anticipated questions part. So thank you for listening to me try to break down my essay. I hope I did the best that I could, and thank you for listening, guys.